Do you think there's much recourse if, given the nature of this particular law, which seems to be very specific, that if his license essentially to operate in New York and that of his sons is taken away, what are the odds of an appeal being successful?
Well, I think there's a chance that they could be successful in the federal court. This is, after all, a taking without due process. This is taking property away from him based on what seemed to me to be speculative assumptions. So I think he will appeal. Will he get a fair appeal in front of the appellate division or the New York Court of Appeals? That remains to be seen. I think it's more likely that he'd get a fair shot at the appellate level than at the trial level.
Have you encountered any other cases? I mean, I think to me, just my vague coverage of New York real estate, it's very common to want to look beautiful to your lenders and pretty poor and miserable to the IRS or anybody trying to take tax from you. That dichotomy is something that's very common. Obviously, the size of the dichotomy here is pretty big in terms of the gap of what was stated one place or assessed and what was then stated to the lenders. Have there been other cases like this, or is this unique?
I don't think there's ever been a case quite like this. The Mar-a-Lago case puts it in perspective. The judge implied, he talked around it, and he cited the assessments that were done by Palm Beach assessors of $18 to $27.5 million. I think you and I should pool our money and buy it for
Mar-a-Lago,
and sell it the next day for 20 times that amount. I mean, it's an absurd figure even to mention in an opinion. Nobody would take that seriously. It's obviously worth hundreds of millions of dollars, not $27 million. Now, it may be assessed at $27 million, but I've also offered to buy the judge's own personal home in New York for what it's assessed at for tax purposes. Nobody sells a home based on the tax assessment. And so that's why banks hire at extraordinary expenses to them some of the best real estate assessors and accountants to do their own due diligence. Nobody counted or relied on this, which is the argument that his lawyers tried to make and were rebuked for. Nobody was hurt here. There was no intent to hurt anybody. There's no victim here. And generally, the state attorney general would be better advised to go after and protect real victims. Why is the state attorney general protecting large banks that have the ability to protect themselves? They're the last people that need the protection of the attorney general of New York. So this is purely 100% political and partisan.